Good day and welcome to Alke-Centric. This is Umlungisi Kandlala, omiyicwanini sibe sikhabakhabanisa khaba uveze ngonyawo. Isala kulandela esingalandelwa nangoSathane uqobo. Thank you for subscribing. Please continue to subscribe, like, share, comment in the comment section below. Today I'd like us to talk about the way we view each other, attitude towards each other. We must understand, it is very, very important to understand that we were deliberately taught to hate ourselves. One of the ways in which they made sure that we hate ourselves is by the color of the skin, like I did mention on our previous videos about the Willie Lynch letter, about the Group Areas Act. You'd find that in townships like Soweto, you'd find a section, like I've said before, a section of Amazulu, not even Amanguni, Amazulu, another section Yamaxhosa, another section of vendors, another section of Tsongas, another section of Sutus. So this was created deliberately to make sure that we do not get along, that we view each other differently, that we make sure that we do not find anything in common about each other. Let us try, now that we know this, let us try by all means to make sure that we view each other in positive, with a positive attitude. What do I mean? Every one of us is good at something, but you'd find us nitpicking what each of us is bad at, and it's a generalization that is bad, that creates division. To make an example, you'd find us saying Xhosa ladies are hoes, Zulus are backwards, Sutus are this, vendors are that, and all of that creates a conflict between us. We end up hating each other. We end up not finding anything in common. That's why I normally say, whenever I talk to anyone about the issue of immigration in South Africa, that even if our fellow brothers and sisters that are from the neighboring countries go as we wish they would go, we would still find conflict. There'd still be conflict amongst each other, as there still is, as we always in conflict with each other. So it's not them that are taking our jobs. It is the system that is created to make sure that we do not get along with each other. The sooner we understand that the enemy is the system, the better. Few years ago, there was a former colleague of mine who said something to me that was good to hear, honestly, and it taught me something as well. She heard me speaking isiXhosa, and she asked, "Kanti, who are you? What tribe do you fall in?" I say, my response to her is that a lot of people would say I fall under Amaxhosa, which I wouldn't disagree. It's okay, because I grew up with Amaxhosa. So because of that, yes, I am Umxhosa. She said, "No, you know, all along I thought you were a vendor." And I asked, "Why do you think I am vendor?" And she said, "Because vendors are educated, vendors are smart, and vendors are decent." That in a way made me happy, because indirectly she said I am decent, I'm smart, and I'm educated. So, which I don't think I am. my point here is that she actually acknowledged that vendors are smart, educated, and decent. You see, and then if we just learn that culture of acknowledging each other, acknowledging what is good about each other than that which is bad about each other, because uh, in a Zulu language, there's a saying that say akuna soka lingena sici. To translate it in English, a direct translation would be, there is no playboy that has no bad habit, or that has nothing bad about them. So we must understand that there is no people in the world that are perfect. That is a fact. So let us then try to see deliberately see that is good about each other than that which is bad about each other, because I bet there is more that is good about each other than that is bad. Let us, by doing that, we are encouraging the goodness in a person. We are indirectly pushing a person into a certain direction. I'll tell you why. One of the reasons would be, when I grew up with friends, obviously, and I made a declaration. I'm not sure whether I've spoken about this before. Maybe I have. I made a declaration to one of my friends that I will never smoke. And this friend of mine said, "You are too young to say that. You don't know what will happen. Life is too long for you to think that." And I said, I will never smoke. That's a declaration that I made to him. And he said, "How can you be so sure?" And I told him that where I come from, there's no smoker. I'd be the first person to be a smoker. So I wouldn't want to be the first person to have this so-called, I would say, bad habit. I'm sorry to those who are smokers. I wouldn't want to be the first person to be a smoker in my family, in my entire family. You see, because of a habit that I thought, and I still think is a good one, that I saw within my family in general, that okay, in my father's household, no one is a smoker. Yes, some drink alcohol, but no one is a smoker. So because of that, I copied that bad habit. It pushed me to a direction where I didn't want to be a smoker, didn't want to be the first one. So by saying that, I'm going to the point that when you see good in someone, indirectly that person would want to behave as such, because you see good in them. If I say, like that lady said to me, Zulus are generous people, and I'm talking to you as a Zulu, and I say Shonas are great builders, and I'm talking to you as a Shona person, that would indirectly push you to a direction uh, of wanting to be a builder, of wanting to be a generous person if you are a Zulu, because you want to represent your people well. You want to be a good representation of your people. So seeing good in each other makes us better people. You find us with this poor narrative, an ugly one, saying, it's a black person, what did you expect? You know, you find that amongst us, that like in our country, in South Africa, there's a lot of crime by politics or politician. And like, what did you expect? And people would say, what did you expect? It's black people. During apartheid, this didn't happen, but these people do not understand that corruption was there during apartheid. One of the greatest corruption was that the minority was serving the minority. That is the greatest corruption. That they talk about electricity, that there was no load shedding at the time. Of course there wouldn't be load shedding, because the grid was servicing the very few, 15%, maybe 20 to 15 to 20% of the population. Obviously the grid wouldn't collapse, or obviously they wouldn't have a problem with the grid. The only thing that they did not do right, the ANC did not do right, in my point of view, or one of the only things they didn't do right, is when they connected other people to the grid, is not building more power stations. Obviously there's been corruption, we know that. But then this misconception that with the white man there's no corruption is just totally nonsensical. We just need to find ourselves as a people and find a way to go forward, find a way to govern ourselves without these colonial rules, colonial what constitutions. Because these constitutions that we claim as ours, you'd be shocked that they probably were drafted in Britain. Let me not dwell too much on this one. Maybe we'll visit it at some point. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment in the comment section below. Share what you think. Even if you disagree, it's okay. That's where we get to learn. I always say that. And last but not least, please subscribe. Thank you.